You guys, today we're doing very important work. We're gonna find out if Nivea cream is a dupe for creme de la mer. So this question has come up more than once in our private Facebook group. Is Nivea cream, this right here, the OG Nivea cream, a dupe for creme de la mer? This is Nivea cream, the US edition, and when I say US edition, the ingredients are a little bit different than the European formula. And then this is the OG creme de la mer. J-Lo bathes in this apparently. Like her whole body's covered in it, and it's very, very expensive. And if you wanna know how expensive this is, I went on to Sephora.com to buy this, and I was gonna buy just the regular one, and I saw how expensive it was. So I bought the smallest one, and this is 0.5 ounces, not even a full ounce, 15 milliliters, and it is $90, and then there's shipping on top of that. This tin of Nivea cream, this is a little under $1. $1, you guys. I wouldn't even order this alone because your shipping is going to cost more than this. I always pick up a tin of this. For years I've been doing this. I pick up a tin of this at the airport, so it's a little bit marked up there, but you can find this legitimately for 79 cents, 78 cents, something like that. And it is 1 ounce, so there is 0.5 ounces more of this than there is of this. So I want you to keep that in mind. So let's first take a look at the ingredients list. I have my little notes here for you guys, and my notes are literally the ingredients list. Technically, it's not a dupe, I'll tell you that, because there are double the amount of ingredients in La Mer and creme de la mer than there are of the Nivea. But if you look at the ingredients list though, when it comes to the actual moisturizers in these two products, the base ingredients are almost identical. There is mineral oil, there's petrolatum, there's glycerin, microcrystalline wax, there's lanolin, alcohol, paraffin, panthenol, magnesium sulfate, the list goes on. There's even fragrance in both of them, and they almost smell identical. The creme de la mer has like a touch more of an expensive scent to it, but they're very, like when you smell them in the actual jars, they smell almost identical. It's not until you actually spread the creme de la mer on your skin that you actually can get a whiff of something else that smells like a little bit different. When it comes to the other ingredients in creme de la mer, their first ingredient is actually seaweed. It's an algae extract, and that's actually what they tout as like their magic ingredient in all of this. I mean, their name, La Mer, is all based off of this whole ingredient, right? I was looking at the comments in our private Facebook group, and one of those people is a woman named Mary Shook. She's a celebrity esthetician. She's also a cosmetic formulator, and she was like, I'm so surprised that they have algae as their first ingredient, because she said that they learned in school that algae can cause some problems, some issues with skin, but I think that's what the magic is in La Mer, is that they have this algae extract. Apparently it's fermented and it turns into lactic acid, and we know lactic acid is an AHA. It's one of my favorite ones. It's a very gentle chemical exfoliator, but it's also a hydrator. I think the mix of that, right, with all of these other ingredients has some magic to it, because I will say that the creme de la mer does feel a little bit lighter and like it absorbs better or something on your skin. There are other really nice ingredients in the creme de la mer. There's sesame oil, there's niacin, there's sweet almond in there, a lot of other nice ingredients that probably as a whole make creme de la mer what it is. But when it comes to the actual base, and when you actually compare the way they feel, I'm gonna actually show you. When you feel the actual texture, I feel like I'm wasting a bunch of the creme de la mer just doing this experiment. It's all for you guys, I'm doing it for you. But if you look at the texture of this, it's just really thick. You have to warm it up, see? Like that was a lot that I just took out of that jar. And usually I would use even more if I was going to use a more typical moisturizer. So that's how thick this is. And so then this is the Nivea cream I'm gonna show you. Next to it, first off, didn't they just look exactly alike when I just did that? And then look at this, when I spread it out. Can you tell which one is which? Like if I were to do a bait and switch on you guys, would you actually know the difference? That's what I wanna know. Like, can you actually see a difference on this? I can't see much of a difference. So this is the Nivea. I wanna show you guys, this is the Nivea. I'm gonna try to rub this in a little bit more so you guys can see it so that it warms up. So this is, see how it's like spreading? I could probably use that amount for my entire face. So obviously, I would never tell somebody with really oily skin to ever use this. If you have real oily skin, like true oily skin. Look how thick that is still. Let me wipe my fingers so that I'm not using the Nivea on the other one. Now, my fingers are clean, so I'm not gonna mix the Nivea with it, and I'm going to rub this one in, and if you see, I mean, the texture is very similar, right? I don't know if there's much of a difference, and there really isn't. I mean, you guys can see it. As far as the moisturizing base goes, they're pretty much identical. As far as the difference for the Nivea cream that's in Europe, that's sold basically just outside of the US in general, is that it does not have petrolatum. So that's something good to know because petrolatum can definitely make a huge difference in the thickness of your moisturizer. So the actual dupe is the US version. And when I say dupe, again, it's not the same exact thing. There is that algae extract in here, and that is gonna help your skin, and it feels a little bit lighter and like it absorbs a little bit more in your skin when you use creme de la mer. The Nivea cream, I think, is a very nice cream. I think both are very wonderful under makeup, and I bet you, if you were a makeup artist or if you're just gonna put on your makeup, I bet you the Nivea will feel great under your makeup. And when you want to have a really thick, occlusive moisturizer, the Nivea cream is going to feel very, very nice. I will say, neither of them, as far as the base goes, these are not expensive ingredients. These are not luxury ingredients. Mineral oil is not a luxury ingredient. Petrolatum is not a luxury ingredient. Paraffin, not luxury ingredients. They are just well-known, old school, good old moisturizers. They are occlusives, and they were very thick occlusives. We know it's not expensive because this is not expensive, right? So that is something good to know. As far as the fragrance goes, you guys know I don't mind fragrance. I think that it's totally fine if your skin can handle it. They both have fragrance, they both smell almost identical, and they feel almost identical. The long-term benefits, you might get a little bit more from the La Mer. But if you're like me, I like to spend my money on my actives in serums. I like serums that have the actives in them. That's where I find I get my most benefits, my retinols, my vitamin C's, any of my other antioxidants, anything that's going to heal my skin, besides a toner with maybe my AHAs or my BHAs in it, I prefer my actives to be in a serum. So I think I'd rather buy the Nivea cream and then spend all my money on my serum so I have lots of choices and can switch between all of them and get that same benefit, basically. Is there much more going on behind the scenes with formulation with La Mer? There might be. There might be something I don't understand completely. I think that's something to keep in mind. And if you've got the money to spend on a jar of creme de la mer, I'm so happy for you. That means that you've got that money and you can spend it and you can be all fancy like that. Then go for it. But if you don't have the money and you wanna still have that moisturization, that good old thick occlusive, your Nivea cream is gonna be perfectly fine. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend the Nivea or the creme de la mer for somebody with true oily skin, but if you've got really dry skin, both of them are great. If it's wintertime and you get really dry, if you're gonna be on an airplane, they're both really, really wonderful moisturizers. If somebody were to ask me what I prefer and what I would recommend to people, I would recommend the Nivea cream. I definitely would, because I want a very simple moisturizer, and I always tell everybody to spend their money on serums. I always say serums are the most important, most expensive part of your skincare routine, in my opinion. That's where you should be putting your money. So I guess at the end of the day, am I saying, is Nivea a dupe for La Mer? As far as the moisturizer, absolutely, 100%. The US version of Nivea cream is absolutely a moisturizing dupe for creme de la mer. So should you spend the money? If you want to, absolutely. If you don't want to, get yourself some Nivea cream. I hope this video was helpful. It's really just meant to be fun. Like I said, you're probably gonna see me using some creme de la mer over the next couple of months because I paid for this and I'm going to use it. So buy your creme de la mer if you want to, but do you have to? Absolutely not. If you want a really good thick moisturizer, Nivea cream, 99 cents or whatever it is. It's under $1, you guys. You can get a tin of this and you can try it out yourself. Let me know in the comments below if you have any thoughts on this, if you use Nivea cream or if you use creme de la mer. I want to know, and I want to see this conversation continue in our private Facebook group. I'll leave a link below because it's so much fun to see what everybody's saying. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.